Hi guys, I'm Jamie New, the founder of Smartest You, and in this video you're going to learn what to include in a management contract between the artist and the manager, as well as some things to consider before signing the contract. Also, as usual, make sure you check out the description of this video for the link to get your free artist management startup kit that you'll want to download after you're done watching. Okay, so firstly, big disclaimer here, I am not a lawyer and laws and standards in different provinces, states, and countries are different, so I strongly advise that you seek out a local entertainment attorney to help you with your contracts, not just artist management, but everything else you're doing in the music business. Secondly, I'm not some sort of contract pro. I've just dealt with a few and I've seen and read many. There are so many different kinds of artist management contracts out there, and the language is very different in every single one of them. So I wouldn't worry too much about having the exact or correct contract that everyone uses, because there really is no such thing. However, there are basic standards and clauses in each, so just make sure that you at least understand those to start out, which is what this video is all about, and I'll get into that in a moment. Additionally, you don't necessarily need to start out with a full formal agreement. You can start with a short one, which is just as legally binding. It just doesn't lay out as many terms within it, and the language is usually much more understandable. And I've included an example of a simple artist management agreement in the startup kit, which is in the description of this video. But I do go over some of the terms in plain language, as well as some of the negotiations that I'm aware of in this video first. So whether you download the example or not, make sure you watch this video and take some notes, because you might learn some more than what's in the template. On the other hand, some people even go without a contract. I personally wouldn't recommend this unless it's just for the dating phase. And the dating phase is basically a work-related dating relationship for about a 3 to 6 month period, or for however long you choose, with no contract, to see if you can actually work well together. And then you would sign a contract after you're ready to fully commit, kind of like a marriage. I've done the dating phase a few times, and in one time we negotiated our contract for so long that we ended up going our separate ways after 6 months, never having signed anything because we couldn't agree on the numbers. But we didn't do this on purpose. It was kind of like an accidental dating phase. I know some managers that only sign artists after a dating phase. I know some managers that sign short-term contracts immediately or long-term contracts immediately. It all depends on what the artist and the manager are willing to agree on. Okay, so let's dive in. What are the top clauses you should be including in your management agreement? Firstly, you want to establish your management fee or management commission rate. The industry standard, at least in North America, is that the manager earns 20% of all gross artist revenue in respect to all earnings within the entertainment industry. I've also heard of some contracts being only 15% of gross, but as far as I know, that is much less common. Otherwise, there are countless numbers to negotiate on, but another common one I see is 20% net commission on some things like merchandise or songwriting royalties, or maybe even live performance, some of the costs associated with that, etc. But this negotiation is really up to the two of you to decide, so do the math, figure out how much money you'll be earning, and talk to a lawyer to help you figure out what is fair for both parties. Secondly, you'll want to establish the territory in which the manager will be representing the artist. Generally, your territory will be the whole world, though some managers make deals with artists to be their manager for a certain country, like maybe their Canadian manager or their Australian manager, etc., but this is a little less common. Thirdly, you'll want to include the term, which means the length in which the contract is valid. So some people start with 6 months, some with 1 year, some 3 years. And in this, you'll also want to include an option for an automatic renewal after that term or not. Fourth, you'll want to include a sunset clause or a post term, meaning upon termination of the term, the manager is still entitled to continue receiving a reduced commission from business executed or substantially negotiated on the artist's behalf during the term. This means after you've ended the contract, the manager may get a reduced commission for maybe 15%, then 10%, then 7.5% year after year, and then they no longer receive anything. This is to help save the manager from losing out on income from business that they've helped bring in while they were managing that artist. Fifth, you want to include an expenses clause stating that the manager is not responsible for certain expenses that are incurred by doing business on that artist's behalf, and that the artist must reimburse the manager for any expenses that they do spend. Generally, these can include reasonable travel, long-distance communications, and promotional expenses, which are directly related to the advancement of that particular artist's career. Usually this does not include in-house expenses such as managers' rent, salaries to managers, employees, and all other expenses and overhead like cell phone, etc. And sixth, a clause regarding accounting stating that the artist must maintain full and accurate written records of all revenue, accounting, banking, and financial matters, and send a full report with a detailed statement of management commissions within a certain amount of time after each calendar month, which is usually about 15 days into the next month. If the artist is terrible at this, they should hire a business manager or a bookkeeper. Most managers I know do not manage their artist's money or financial records or payments for them. Okay, so these are 6 of the most important and most common clauses you need in a simple contract or short deal memo that both the artist and the manager should sign. If you want to see more examples of contracts, Paul Allen has a bunch in his book, Artist Management for the Music Business, which I've linked to in the description, as well as our free template that comes in the startup kit, which I've also linked to below. If you liked this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, comment, and let us know what else you'd like to know. Share it with your music industry friends, and as always, thank you very much for watching.